Well, I got bored of filming and wanted to get right at it, so made quite a bit of progress since the last video, but if we just take a little swing around, you can see all my junk. Yeah, get out of the shot, he says. Oh, let's see what we got here. I don't even really know what to say as we're looking at it, but let's do a nice walk around. Shadows in the shot, ruining it. Yeah, I guess we'll start up front, work our way back. Stock brake setup, didn't do anything up front. I did change the lines over off of Harley something. World famous Bargain Barn is just up the road from us, so it's a barn full of motorcycle parts. Just dug around in the pile until I found some brake lines. It doesn't fit quite right, but the price was right, so got that on. 16mm bore front brake lever, so now instead of the front brake feeding the rear brake also, it's just one line down, splits to both fronts. Pretty good response off the front brakes. LED headlight with fancy running lights, I guess you'd say. So you got high up here, blinkers are in the headlight, and I added these just for a little extra noticeability, I guess. Pretty simple brackets here. I mean, they look a little fancy, but there's not much to them. Just a piece of flat with a little bend in it. Found a piece of scrap, welded that on across here, smoothed it out with the flap wheel, mounted to the stock fairing mounts, then just bolted it right into the headlight there. GPS, speedo, painted it up, got that glued in there. It's nice and solid. Clip-on bars, 41mm tubes. They're supposed to be adjustable, but my biggest complaint about the adjustability, I don't know if I can see that. But yeah, so I mean, if you want to adjust them up any higher, you're losing grip strength from these couple bolts. So I got them pretty low just to feel a little better about bolting handlebars on. Some nice fold away bar end mirrors. They work really nice. Pretty happy with them. Coming across the front, you got your ignition, blinker switch left and right, little indicators, takes a second for the GPS signal to load, but it did have, it's programmable, so you can put in there whatever mileage you want, trip meter resets by a button down here. Like I said, throttle block with factory Goldwing cables looped up and around and out the side, just trying to soak up some length. Chinese gas tank, and then just rattle can with painted it black, and then cut out a stencil off the Cricut, laid that on here, rattle can red over the top of it. Had some major issues with Krylon Fusion not wanting a clear coat. The third time I painted this tank. Didn't matter if you let it sit for 4 days, 10 days, or sprayed it immediately after, the clear coat would wrinkle the ever-living hell out of the base coat. Emailed them, and they said, oh, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. I mean, a lot of help from them, you know, real happy they came through with something. But pull the engine out, high temp black, use some acrylic, same thing that Krylon was chewing up any kind of base coat I put on it, just to give it a little more red on the engine. Amazon special coolant reservoir, put it on this side. Wasn't much going on over there on the other side that I could put it, so just welded a little tang to the frame, bolted that on, ran the hose across. Is what it is there. Hydraulic clutch line, probably not the best routing, but it's enough to take it for a spin. I suppose coming down to the exhaust here, same thing, eBay, SC, Project SC or something like that, mufflers. Wrapped the headers, titanium, cinched them on tight. These are just spring loaded on there. I think they're supposed to be for a pit bike, but again, with the chopped off frame, just cap that up. I didn't spend too much time trying to clean it up because sometimes it just looks better with a weld on it. Nice little bracket for my reservoir, just a piece of pipe cut down, welded some tabs on it. Probably going to get a shorter hose for it, but rear brakes, here we ended up just cutting, let's see, just cut the stock bracket, rotated it forward, hogged out a hole with a big drill bit into the stock bracket and ran that bolt in there, so it's just like it was factory. It's a heck of a time trying to find a bleeder for the top end here, but there's a plug. Just pulled that out and put this bleeder valve in there. This one's still here, but obviously air's not going to go there, so that is what it is on that part. Put new brake pads on. Rear brakes kind of work. I'm not super impressed with them. Got the fender all painted up. Again, third time I painted that one. Had some wicked problems with that Krylon. Just can't say enough about how good those guys were to me after I spent probably 150 bucks on rattle cans and repainted it. Couldn't tell you how many times. All in, double, you know, because you got primer, base coat, and everything else. Great product, highly recommended. Cut the stock shock mount off, kind of ground that down a little bit just to give it a cleaner look. Got the fender mounted. Yeah, SC Project Moto Group. Battery box made from a toolbox lid. Kind of hogged her in there, made it work. Let's see. Oil pressure sensor is not working. One's in the mail, coming my way. Probably should have moved the petcock further forward into this flatter spot here so it would come down and have more room to turn. You can still get to it, but it's kind of tight against this back bar I added in. What do you do? A little far on the project to be changing stuff around. Just a master cylinder off a crotch rocket I found at that bargain barn. Same thing, just flipped that over, drilled a little bigger hole, then I welded the brake sensor switch to the back side of the tube there, and put a spring on. I suppose then another thing I forgot to say before we go for a ride is this air filter. I'm not certain I got the right thing cooking here. I put bigger jets in, but with the high flow air filter I was having one heck of a time trying to get this thing to run right. So I've been trying different sizes of painter's tape on top of the air filter, trying to get it down to the ballpark of stock restriction. I mean, it goes pretty good, there's no denying that, but trying to just get it to be smooth and run like it is supposed to has been a little tricky. But when you're doing huge intake mods and pretty much straight pipes, I mean, you're gonna have that. But yeah, figure out where to clamp this thing on and go for a quick rip. Been getting a lot of questions on budget. Figured I'd put everything together and see what I was actually at. I was thinking 1,300 all in. Wrote everything down and a little surprised. I just wrote it down so I could read it, but here's the price tags. Here's tires, 289 bucks. That was a big dent. Find one with tires. Save you a lot of money. But anyway, the bike, 1984 Goldwing Aspencade. No idea what was wrong with it. Got it at an auction. $200. Didn't run. Just scrolling down my Amazon list here, we got bars at 100, mirrors 20, master cylinders 37, carb rebuild kit $40, clutch slave cylinder rebuild kit $30, headlight $80, seat $44, battery $84. That's a lithium 600 cold cranking amps, I think, weighs like 2 pounds, probably worth it. 8-pack of ignition switches. I only ended up using one. That was $20. 50 foot of wrap for the exhaust, $18. LED flasher, $9. Connector kit, $27. Relay box, $27. Throttle block, $13. GPS speedo, $70. LED blinkers, $19. Brake light, $13. Indicator lights, $11. Gauge pot, $13. Momentary, $12. Choke cable, $11. Pour 15 to fix my screw up on the gas tank, $18. Coolant overflow, $26. Brake pads, $20. I don't know what I wrote there. $23. Cable, 20 bucks. Caliper rebuild, 27. Tank was $88. Tires, 289. Muffler, 123. Shocks for the switching it over is 50. Air filter, 20. Brake lines, 20 bucks. That's everything I got on new parts into it. That came out to $1,646. But I sold the fuel pump, sold the bags, and all the leftover pieces, which gave me a total price all in of $1,200.96. $1,296. So that's not bad. I don't know what other custom bike you're gonna make for 1,200 bucks. Yeah, you could have cut some corners and did some things cheaper, but I'm happy with it. 1,300 bucks, probably ride it for half the summer next year, and then probably try and sell it, I guess. So I like building them, I like riding them, but I get bored of riding the same bike, so I'll probably build another one. But yeah, I bet paint's another $100. I would spend a couple bucks and get real paint. That spray bombing it didn't work out great. Decent coverage, but the amount of times that I had in redoing everything is terrible.